With so much stress, heavy workload, long working hours, but little pay, many nurses are anticipating or debating to either stay or leave the nursing profession. Some have already left. So sometimes people see me as a nurse and ask me, should we join nursing? Is it worth it? Well, in this video, I'm going to show you or give you reasons why you should join the nursing profession or you should consider before joining. Stay tuned. And if you're new to this channel, let me introduce myself. I'm Samantha, an RN/BCN nurse. I've been working for 4 to 5 years now in a specialized surgical facility. And then on this channel, I basically share about my nursing experience because I'm a nurse, but basically also my life because I'm more than a nurse. And if you like what I do, feel free to subscribe, like the video, share. Let's get into the topic now. So if you're stuck around, that means you want to find out if it's still worth it to become a nurse in this day and age. My answer is yes. It's absolutely worth it to become a nurse in this day and age because there is so much that I've learned by being a nurse. But not everyone agrees with me, as some people cannot handle the stress, the long working hours, the heavy workload. And therefore, in this video, I'm going to give you some things to consider prior to deciding if nursing is for you or not. Number one is the varying schedules. What I mean by varying schedules, you have to look at the duty rotas. I'm going to talk about Uganda specifically because I'm in Uganda right now working as a nurse. So in Uganda here, most of the hospitals work 12 hours. So you find a nurse standing working for 12 hours straight. Unfortunately, where I work, which is an 8-hourly shift, so it is kind of friendly to us. But you have to look at the different hospitals, different places, different units too. The good part is nurses can work, let me say, we normally have this thing of 3 days or 4 days, 12 hours or 8-hour shift and you're off, which is good because you can do some other things. But another thing is it's very, very tiresome for a nurse to work 12 hours on a unit because you're going to reach home and you're going to just pass out. You're going to be so tired because remember, you work from the time that you enter until the time that you leave. So it's 12-hourly shifts. And if you can't handle the 12-hourly shift, another point to consider is the ability to handle stress. What I mean is from patients, from fellow medics, from the administration, and nurses are always at the receiving end of everything. From the rude doctors, from the rude patients, from not being protected by the administration or from the hospital. And they need mental health care. Because you cannot tell me that you're going to be rude to a nurse and you're going to expect her to give the full nursing care or health care to a patient. She will not. Because these people also have personal problems. People tend to forget that nurses are also human beings. People tend to forget that they have families, they have personal problems, they have a social life. They tend to forget all those things. And nurses are overworked. During the pandemic, we saw how much they were highly in demand, saw how much the staff went through. Up to now, people are still struggling with low staffing. So we have to take all that into consideration. And if you are able to manage the stress, go for that. Okay, another point that I have to pass across is nurses are undervalued. That's the fact. And if you think that I'm telling lies, you can go to the comment section, I'll find you there. But nurses in Uganda are not valued enough, and they are not given their appreciation or due. And nurses are at the bedside 24/7. They're bedside 24/7, and some of these professionals or medics come for just seconds, minutes, or just an hour and they go, but they normally receive all the praise. While nurses are on the bedside of these patients 24/7, they are being educators, they are being counselors, they are giving medication, they prepare for the procedure and also do the procedures. So nurses win with these patients, nurses lose with these patients, and nurses know these patients inside and out. They are confident. Let me tell you something. We do not go around with a piece of paper saying, oh, I told this doctor to do this, to do that. But we sometimes correct doctors because we tell them the medication is no longer working, the wound is septic. These are like, we try to work hand in hand with the doctors. So we work hand in hand, we are a team. We are not bystanders. Some people think we are bystanders, but we are not bystanders. Right now, when you look at the nurses that are coming into the medical field, we are no longer the yes team, the way that it used to be. That is the challenge that I normally find with the older nurses. The doctor say this, the doctor say that. But if you feel like something is not adding up, why don't you approach the doctor, approach the surgeon and tell them, I have seen this on the patient and I don't think this is going to work. Because at the facility that I'm working at, we actually work as a team. We are allowed to put in our input into the healthcare of the patient, because at the end of that day, you're the one who stays with this patient. You know the patient more. You are giving the healthcare to this patient. You walk with this patient to the road to recovery. And some of these medics are at the beginning or at the end, but the nurse works with the patient from the beginning up to the end and in between. So I think nurses should be valued. That takes me to the point of also salary. Unfortunately, nurses are not paid as much as they should be in Uganda here, because if I am doing a lot of work, now let me give you a scenario. You're employing me. I am buying sugar at the same shop that you're buying it from. I want to take my children to good schools. I want clean water. I want security. I want electricity at my home. And you're paying me, let me say, 300,000, 400,000. Do you expect my children to go to the same schools that you go to? It will not happen. So you have to pay me so that my level or my cost of living is appropriate to my salary. You do not expect me to come and give you total and absolute health care when I'm not okay at home. It cannot happen. That's the reason why you hear patients complaining. Oh, the nurse came, but I didn't get this, I didn't get this. They have personal issues, they have personal life. I think you should give appreciation, you should give credit where it is due. And nurses, unfortunately, do not get their appreciation. They do not get good salaries. They are overworked, but the salary is little. I remember when I first came out of school, when I had done my diploma, I hadn't started working, and the first salary that I got was 300,000. And I used to think that's a lot of money. I wasn't renting. I was given water. I was given food. I was given security, all at home. But to me, that was a lot of money. But now look at a person who has a family. Look at a person who has children. Look at the person who is a breadwinner at their home. 300,000 is very, very little. So I think hospitals, administrations, organizations, the government should look into that. Nurses should be paid. The money is never enough. But if you're paying a doctor 4 million, now would you give a nurse 1.5 or a 2 million? Give a nurse 3.8. Even 4, because they do more even what the doctors do. No offense, but that's the truth. And they should be given what they are due. Another thing you should consider is the working conditions. 2020 and 2021 showed us a glimpse of the working conditions. That is when we were having COVID-19. Nurses had to deal with the harsh, hostile working conditions in the environment, where you had to deal with harsh or rude patients. I've already said that. Because all of them have different personalities. Trust me, patients are hard. And if you don't have an understanding administration, you will not survive at your workplace. Because you will not survive at your workplace. Because I remember I was at work and we were understaffed. And a patient wanted me to be there. Another patient called me, another one called me, and I was like, hold on, I'm working on this one. But why aren't you working on me? I'm also a patient. I paid my money. If you're a nurse, for us they teach us the patient is the boss. But sometimes it is hard. You feel like you want to punch these people. You feel like you want to fight with them. So that is why I always say you also have to have patience with these people. Now, during the COVID time, we also saw how we're not protected enough. People did not have PEPs, because they were not protected enough. Nurses were not protected. You saw a lot of deaths. So you have to consider your working environments. You have to be protected as nurses. You have to first, let me tell you something. Yes, you have to provide care to the patient. You have to provide treatment to the patient. But at the same time, you have to value your life. Because if you die, God forbid, another nurse is going to come and replace you there and then. They will not say, oh my God, Samantha died, let's keep her place. Another nurse is going to come and replace you. So you have to make sure you protect yourself first. Sometimes people consider leaving the nursing profession because they're not protected. Some people have families, some people have sick relatives. So they weigh the two and are like, why would I die and leave my family? So most people tend to leave and the profession because they cannot put their families in danger. Another point is learning and adapting to change. Medical care keeps on changing every now and then, and we have seen that there is a lot of technology coming into the science section. We have seen that older nurses are having difficulty onto adopting into the technology. They want to continue writing, they don't want to use the computer, which is understandable because things are changing. So if you're joining the nursing profession, you should learn, you should know that you have to now know how to use a computer. You should embrace technology because that is one of the fundamental advantages of being a nurse. Every hospital right now, as I speak, you should know at least how to use a computer. And these things keep on changing. Science keeps on changing, so you have to know how to use the internet, you have to know how to use technology, you have to have knowledge basically. You have to have knowledge on that. Okay, putting all those points aside, I don't want to scare you people, but those are the facts. But also the good things about nursing actually. Nurses make more than 60% of the health sector, and nurses are still highly in demand in the whole world. They're still highly in demand. So there is job security. There is job security. This is a meaningful job because if you're someone who wants to help people, if you're someone who wants to take care of people, nursing is the job for you. Then you're always learning. In nursing, there will never be any day that is actually the same. You're always tackling different things, different patients, different conditions. So you're always learning management. And then there is also career advancement. What I mean is nursing is no longer the hospital. Nurses are now in schools. There are school nurses, there are research nurses, there are ICU nurses, intensive care nursing, there is PED nursing. So there is so much that you can do. And then there is also making a lot of money. Unfortunately, in Uganda, people are now opened up to new ideas of how you can make the money. But abroad, nurses are making a lot of money because they're being paid in hours. They don't wait for monthly salary. So nurses make a lot of money. Then it's also flexible. With those evening, morning, night shifts, there is so much that you can do. So nursing is also flexible. And it is all about loving what you're doing. Don't go into nursing thinking you're going to make a lot of money. It's all about, I love nursing, I want to help people, I want to make a difference in my community, and that is it. I love my profession, it has made me who I am, and people that have made the opportunities that I've gotten is because of my profession. And I have grown as a human being, I have seen the changes in myself. I don't want to scare anyone. This is still one of the professions that it gives you satisfaction, but it will not give you a lot of money. I hope that I've given you some of the important tips that you should consider, and also some of the great stuff in nursing. Let me tell you something, I wouldn't change my profession for anything because we deal with so much, and the most satisfying thing is we do so much for the patients and they really, really appreciate it. Actually, nurses, I think, are more appreciated by the society than the places that we work on. But after seeing the pandemic, after seeing what nurses did for patients, what we did for the society, I think this is one of the best professions, and I love being a nurse. I wouldn't change it for anything. And I hope more people can join the profession. I hope more people can create change in the profession. I hope the government, I hope hospitals, I hope administrations, I hope unions, organizations can continue creating change in nursing, because we are moving forward and forward only. Thank you for watching, guys. I hope this video has been educative enough. So if you like it, don't forget to like, to share, and to subscribe. Until next time, see you.